welcome back. All the volatility we've seen lately could mean big opportunities that you don't want to miss. Well, today on Smart Money, we're talking about how smart investors can turn uncertainty into an advantage. Financial expert Brian Mirau is here to share strategies for spotting the upside and why having the right guidance could be the key. Well, Brian, what kind of questions are you hearing from people who haven't been working with an advisor?
Well, Nicole, that's a great question. We're seeing a lot of uncertainty out there, and, people are asking things like, should I move to cash, or is now a good time to invest more? It's clear they want to make smart decisions, but without a clear plan, they're unsure where to begin. And that's where having a professional can really help.
Well, with markets being so unpredictable, how could those nearing retirement actually see this as an opportunity?
Well, volatility can actually be a great time to take action. For example, when the market drops, it may create an opportunity to reposition assets, lock in your gains, or even convert to a Roth at a lower tax rate. The key is knowing which move to make and which one makes the most sense based on your goals and your time horizon.
So how do you help clients spot those opportunities in a volatile market?
Well, Nicole, we start by evaluating their current plan for hidden opportunities. We look for places where we can take advantage of market dips or possibly shift their risk. We look for tax harvesting opportunities. This may be a great time to do Roth conversions due to the fact that, converting when the market is down will give you the opportunity for tax-free growth when the market comes back. And then we also tailor a strategy that's focused not only on growth, but also on asset protection. In times like these, having a personalized approach matters more now than ever.
So what are some strategies that people thinking about retirement could use right now?
Well, right now, this is a good time to look at asset diversification. We want to look at the different asset types and the possible tax treatments of these assets. It's also important to look at income diversification as well. We help many of our clients balance their pre-tax and their after-tax accounts. And we also got to look at their income streams and even consider products that offer guaranteed income. Strategies like these, they provide a lot more certainty when we're in an uncertain market like this.
So what if someone isn't sure if their plan is built to handle this kind of market?
Well, that's exactly when it's time to get a second opinion. We walk people through a no obligation review to look at where they are and what risks they face and what opportunities they might be missing. Even small adjustments can have a big impact on long-term outcome.
So what's your advice to those who need to look beyond today's headlines and focus on the bigger picture?
Well, Nicole, it's easy to get caught up in the daily swings, but, retirement is a long-term journey. And, you have to filter out all the noise out there. The most successful plans are built to weather both bull and bear markets. And you want to avoid knee-jerk reactions and instead focus on your consistent strategic moves.
And finally, tell us why working with a team like yours is especially important during times like these.
Well, when things are uncertain, Nicole, guidance matters. At our firm, we bring together a full team. We look at investment planning, tax strategies, we look at income strategies, and we want to make sure that every part of your retirement plan works together. That coordination helps people stay on track no matter what goes on in the market, whether it goes up or whether the market goes down.
So, Brian, what should viewers do if they want to take that next step?
Well, the truth is, in times like these, they're not just about weathering the storm, they're about finding opportunities. At Mirau Capital, we help people use market shifts to strengthen their financial future. What we do is we evaluate their current plan to uncover hidden opportunities and look for additional growth. We implement strategies to take advantage of market dips while still managing the risk. We also help tailor your investments to align with your long-term goals so fluctuating markets, they don't derail your game plan. And most importantly, we focus on preserving your wealth, and that helps you secure your retirement plans. You've worked hard to build your assets. You don't want to miss the chance to capitalize on today's market potential. Every day we wait could mean missed opportunities to grow and preserve our wealth. And actually today, Nicole, for those who schedule a visit, we'll also provide a copy of my book called Smart Money for the Backside of Life. And what it is, it's a practical guide for navigating retirement with clarity, confidence, and purpose. And, remember, having a strategy that adapts to uncertainty can help you turn potential risk into lasting rewards. But without a clear game plan, you may be leaving some money on the table.
We'll call 915-233-2904 to schedule your free retirement review and receive your copy of Smart Money for the Backside of Life. You can also visit their website. Brian, as always, great to have you on ABC 7 at 4.
Nicole, thanks for having me today.
We'll be right back.
Smart Money is